Hello students to another class of geography with ExamFactor. Myself Akshat Oinam Passi from Hindu College doing my second year in BA Honors in English, and I scored 100 percentile in geography, sociology, English and history, and sorry, 99.2 percentile in geography and 100 percentile in sociology, English and history. So, briefly introducing you to ExamFactor again. ExamFactor is offering you mock test series in all your major domains, be it science, arts, or in commerce. Everything that everything that you might need for your CUET examination, leaving besides those minor papers like entrepreneurship, fine arts, PE, whatever entails your major domain subjects in all three streams, ExamFactor is offering them all. You have mock test series in accountancy, business studies, economics, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, history, geography, political science, psychology, English, general test, and that's a huge range, guys. And also, if you want a discount, you can refer to my tutor code, which is AOPEF20. I repeat, AOPEF20 if you want to avail a discount on any of these mock test series in any of these subjects. Crash courses. You also have crash courses in accountancy, economics, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, history, political science, English, and general test. Besides mock test series, mock test is for your practice. Crash course is what will explain the whole subjects to you. मान लीजिए आपने अपना 12 अच्छे से यूटिलाइज नहीं करा है, मान लीजिए you have wasted time, you have wasted the whole year, and now you still want to crack CUET. Can you do it? Yes, yes, you can. You can if with these crash courses which deal with your subjects in a very crisp, in a very detailed yet crisp way, which will ensure that none of the major details in any of your subjects are left out. All good? And so in the last class, we were discussing PYQs of geography CUET UG examination. PYQs ऐसे क्वेश्चंस जो कि पूछे गए हैं, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस जो कि एनटीए ने पूछे हैं सीयूईटी में ज्योग्राफी सब्जेक्ट के लिए. So let's take a look at the questions until we have finished until yes, we had finished the first 15 questions of this PDF. Now let's deal with more. जितना आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे, know it. Practice is key, practice is key, practice is key. अगर आपको CUET निकालना है, अगर आपको नॉर्थ कैंपस चाहिए, अगर आपको BHU चाहिए, if you want to get into those top universities, then CUET is must, and for CUET, practice is must. It starts with you. So let's look at the question. Arrange the following approaches of human geography according to the development in a chronological order. Human geography के approaches या फिर जो branches बनी हैं, the ways in which human geography is studied, they have not been static. They have evolved over time. Evolved मतलब they have changed over time. Arrange the following approaches of human geography according to the development in a chronological order. Right? So, spatial organization, exploration and description, regional analysis, aerial differentiation. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 में जो दिए गए हैं options, they are not in serial order. You have to tell which of the approaches came first, which came second, which came third, and which came fourth. What is the order in which it progressed? Right? So let's look at the answer. The chronological order of these approaches of human geography is option number B. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. The first phase was exploration and description. What happened in this period? In the exploration and description period, it was taken up by the colonialists, people like the British, the French, the Dutch, who were traveling the world, searching for resources, searching for colonies, searching for settlements. It was undertaken by these people. Why? Because if you know about a place, it also enables you to further utilize it. अगर आप जानते हो कि किसी एक जगह में आपको गोल्ड मिल रहा है, अगर आप जानते हो कि किसी एक जगह में गोल्ड के डिपॉजिट्स हैं, आप तभी गोल्ड की माइनिंग शुरू करोगे इस एरिया में. If you are not sure of finding anything somewhere, then why will you start something there? Right? If you move out of a place and suppose you are in a place जहाँ पे drought हुई है, जहाँ पे लोग मर रहे हैं and जहाँ बारिश नहीं हुई है, obviously you will want to go to a place where you know fresh water will be abundantly available. That is why knowing about a place is essential to utilizing it, utilizing the resources that come from it. Next was the phase of regional analysis. In the exploration and description phase, they didn't take into account the detailed aspects of it. They maintained an encyclopedic description. Encyclopedic, what does that mean? That means that they took into account all the factors without hyper focusing on just one factor. In regional analysis, what we see is that they made a detailed analysis of each and every aspect of the area. So the regional analysis period came after the exploration period, and next came areal differentiation. This approach came during the period of war. Where human geography was considered as essential to basically understand areas in terms of how different they are. How unique an area is what defines it. If India is unique, it is because it has 3 major rivers, it is because it has abundance of rainfall, things like that. And the last phase was spatial organization. Let's move to the next question. What is the unit of measuring sound intensity? इसमें कोई explanation नहीं है. It's a fact-based question, fairly easy question. Decibels, decimeter, centimeter, micrometer. What is it? आप बताइए. The correct answer is decibels. Decimeter, micrometer, centimeter, these are used to measure length, meter length, while decibel is the unit which is used to measure sound intensity. When there's noise pollution, you will say that pollution इसलिए हो रहा है because sound is coming of this decibel. Decibel is the answer. Match column number 1 with column number 2. Approaches to human development. Income approach, column number 2. Okay, so there are different approaches to human development given, and column 2 has those organizations, has those people who advocated these approaches, who proposed these approaches. You have to match the approach with the organization or the person or a fact about it. Right? So, ये सब mix up होके है. You have to match it correctly. Let's look at the answer. The correct answer is option A. Income approach, one of the oldest approaches. It was believed that development and income go hand in hand. The more the development there is, the more the income rises. That is, जितने लोग किसी देश के वो जितना हाई इनकम कमाएंगे उतना we can say that डेवलपमेंट हुई है उस देश पे. 2. Welfare approach. Human beings are targets of all development activities. Human beings, welfare, human welfare. The emphasis is on the human being, on the person. Right? It is an approach which keeps into account the welfare of human beings, especially not those at the top, not the capitalists, not the businessmen, but the common man, the person who is not so privileged. उसके लिए ज़्यादा emphasis होता था इस welfare approach में. Human beings are the targets of all development activities, and all development activities were supposed, the benefits of the activities were supposed to be distributed equally. It was meant that सबको एक टाइप का फायदा होगा एंड ना कि कोई एक इंसान या फिर एक क्लास ऑफ पीपल सारे बेनिफिट्स रीप कर रही है एंड जो नीचे है, जो बॉटम में आते हैं सोशल हायरार्की के, उनको कुछ ना मिल रहा हो. बेसिक नीड्स अप्रोच. International Labour Organization ILO proposed this approach. Capability approach proposed with associated with Professor Amartya Sen, who believed that human development refers to developing the capability of human beings to basically to acquire skills, to learn skills that would enable them to support themselves, ताकि इंसान खुद को डेवलप कर सके. This is with Professor Amartya Sen, who won the Nobel Prize for Economics. He is the one who is associated with the capability approach. Got it? Which of the following is the largest linguistic group of India? Sino-Tibetan, Indo-European, Austric, Dravidian. The largest group is the Indo-European group. Indo-European languages कौन से होते हैं? हिंदी, बंगाली, पंजाबी, मराठी. जितने लैंग्वेजेस इंडिया की मेजॉरिटी बोलती है उन्हें इंडो यूरोपियन ग्रुप के अंदर क्लासिफाई किया जाता है. The Indo-European languages are predominant in the northern, याद रखना, the northern belt, the central belt and the western regions of India, making it the most widespread linguistic family in the country. Therefore, the correct answer is Indo-European. Understood? इसमें देखो बाकी options तुम देख सकते हो. Sino-Tibetan is associated with languages spoken towards the northeast. Dravidian is associated with the languages spoken towards the south. Indo-European is spoken in north, in west, in central. It covers the maximum number of speakers in the maximum number of area, which is why obviously it is the largest linguistic group of India. Next question. Which of the following water management program is sponsored by the central government? Neeru Meeru, Arvari Pani Sansad, Haryali, Khushali. The correct answer is Haryali. The water management program sponsored by the central government among the options provided is Haryali. The Haryali program is aimed at enabling and promoting the development of rural areas through the implementation of various watershed development projects. It focuses on enhancing water conservation, minimizing soil erosion, and improving agriculture productivity and environmental sustainability. See, all of these have something or other to do with water management, but the difference is that most of these, the options given here, they are sponsored, they are taken up by public interest organizations. They are taken up by groups of people who think that they can come together and work for a social cause, but not Haryali. हरियाली जो स्कीम है, हरियाली जो प्रोग्राम है, वो सरकार की है. It is not the common man's program. It is for the common man, but it is not sponsored by the common man. It is sponsored by the central government. Haryali. Arrange the following million cities from smallest to largest according to population size. यहाँ पे 4 शहरों के नाम दिए गए हैं एंड इन चारों शहरों में संख्या जो है वो 1 मिलियन या फिर 1 मिलियन से ऊपर की संख्या है. मुंबई, सूरत, आगरा, चेन्नई. Now see, there is two ways of going about this. एक हो सकता है कि you remember the population sizes, you remember the exact population of each and every city, but honestly speaking तैयारी करने के बाद भी you have to be practical enough to know that examination के दिन आपको शायद हर चीज याद ना रहे, which is why it's important to do classes like these and understand certain shortcuts, certain tips and tricks that will help you out in the long run. यहाँ पे क्या बता रहे हैं? ग्रेटर मुंबई, सूरत, आगरा, चेन्नई. What do we know about these cities? We know that Agra is pretty developed, but Agra, it is not as developed as compared to Surat. We have a general information, we have a general knowledge about cities, right? For example, it does not take a person much knowledge of population to tell that Delhi is a bigger city than Guwahati is. या फिर दिल्ली इज अ बिगर सिटी देन सपोज भोपाल इज. सो ये कंपैरिजन जो है समटाइम्स ना आप कॉमन सेंस नहीं, आप जीके लगा के आप कभी कभी आप फिगर आउट कर लेते हो कि कौन से शहर में पॉपुलेशन ज़्यादा होगी. विच इज़ व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू, by some amount of GK, if you have like the basic level of GK, you will know that Surat is a bigger city than Agra is. सूरत में एक टाइम में इंडस्ट्रीज वगैरह रहे हैं एंड आई थिंक अभी भी है. आई एम नॉट 100% श्योर, आई एम गोना हैव टू चेक, बट वी नो दैट ओवरऑल एज अ सिटी सूरत इज अ मोर डेवलप्ड सिटी देन आगरा इज. बट इज सूरत एज डेवलप्ड अ सिटी एज चेन्नई? No. So we know that Surat is bigger than Agra. Agra is bigger than Surat is bigger than Agra, but Surat is smaller than Chennai. And between Mumbai and Chennai, we know that Mumbai as a city, it's a huge city. It's a huge city. Everything there takes place. You have businesses, corporations, you have the whole Bollywood industry. You have so much going on there. We know it as a truly vast space in India. And so by applying a basic level, a minimum level of GK, we can figure out the answer very easily without having to know in exact numbers कि कौन से शहर में कितनी संख्या बसती है. So the correct answer is number C. आगरा इज द स्मॉलेस्ट. यहाँ पे बताया गया है ना कि स्मॉलेस्ट टू लार्जेस्ट अरेंज कीजिए, सो यू हैव टू स्टार्ट विद स्मॉलेस्ट एंड विद लार्जेस्ट. सो पहले आएगा आगरा, फिर आएगा सूरत, फिर आएगा चेन्नई, फिर आएगा ग्रेटर मुंबई. डन. Which of the following is not applicable to sugar industry? शुगर इंडस्ट्री के बारे में कुछ बेसिक फैक्ट्स है, आपको बताना है कि which of these is not applicable to the sugar industry. Number 1, weight losing raw material. Number 2, Maharashtra produces more than 1/3 of total sugar production in the country. Sugar industry runs throughout the year equally and agro-based industries. यहाँ पे 4 statements है, 4 में से 3 correct है, 1 wrong है. तो आपको बताना है कि कौन सा applicable नहीं है sugar industry के लिए. Which of the following facts is false? The statement which is not applicable to the sugar industry is sugar industry runs throughout the year equally. The sugar industry is seasonal in nature primarily because its production is tied to the harvesting cycles of sugarcane, the raw material for sugar. The crushing season varies from region to region and does not generally run throughout the entire year at the same level of activity. In many sugar producing countries, including India, the crushing season lasts for about half the year depending on the maturity of the sugar crop. This is unlike industries that operate on a more continuous year-round basis. ऑब्वियस सी बात है क्योंकि शुगर इज बेस्ड ऑन अ क्रॉप शुगर केन. ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि शुगर केन इज नॉट अ क्रॉप दैट विल ग्रो कंटिन्यूअसली और इवनली थ्रू आउट द ईयर. The crushing season varies from region to region and generally does not run throughout the entire year at the same level of activity. In many sugar producing countries, including India, the crushing season lasts for about half the year, depending on the maturity of the sugar crop. This is unlike industries that operate on a more continuous year round basis. Got it? क्रशिंग सीजन जो है, आपको शुगर केन क्रश करके आप बनाते हो शुगर. सो क्रशिंग सीजन जो है, आप उसको पूरे साल क्रश नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि शुगर केन क्रॉप जो है उसकी एक मैच्योरिटी पीरियड होती है. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस मैच्योरिटी पीरियड द क्रशिंग सीजन कैन ओनली लास्ट फॉर अबाउट हाफ द ईयर. यू कैन ओनली क्रश शुगर फॉर हाफ द ईयर. आप पूरे साल उसको क्रश नहीं कर सकते. That is the answer. Arrange the following phases of population growth in India in a chronological order. Steady population growth, population explosion, stagnant or stationary growth, population growth slowing down gradually. हाँ, पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ के इंडिया में 4 फेजेस हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ जो है शुरू से ही फास्ट रही है, ऐसा नहीं होता. बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली बात है कि ह्यूमन बीइंग मशीन थोड़ी है कि यू प्रोग्राम द ह्यूमन बीइंग टू प्रोड्यूस 5 babies per day, 5 babies per day every year. It doesn't work like that. There will be phases in where population growth कभी हाई होगी, कभी लो होगी, कभी ग्रेजुअल होगी, एंड दिस इन्फ्लुएंस द नंबर ऑफ फैक्टर्स. सो सर्टेन फेजेस में हुआ है जो पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ है इंडिया में, वो एक बार में नहीं हुआ है. इतनी संख्या जो है इंडिया में वो एक बार में नहीं आई है. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस फैक्ट वेरी केयरफुली. इट हैज हैपेंड इन फेजेस, एक एक करके हुई है. सो यू हैव टू अरेंज द फेजेस इन क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर. क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर मीन्स जो पहले हुआ था आप उसको पहले अरेंज करना है. इन 1 2 3 4 यू हैव टू अरेंज. तो बेसिकली जो पहले हुआ था दैट you'll have to write first. सेकेंड जो हुआ था सेकेंड लिखेंगे आप, थर्ड जो हुआ था थर्ड लिखेंगे आप, फोर्थ जो हुआ था फोर्थ लिखेंगे आप, लाइक दैट. द करेक्ट आंसर इज नंबर बी. स्टेगनेंट और स्टेशनरी ग्रोथ हुई पहले. व्हाई? स्टेगनेंट और स्टेशनरी ग्रोथ इसलिए हुई क्योंकि बिफोर इंडिया वाज इन अ फेज where people used to die a lot. People used to die. Why? People used to die because of certain reasons, such as illnesses, such as famines, such as drought. Because India में health services, medical services ने develop नहीं थे उस period में, which is why India faced stagnant or stationary growth. It could not grow that much because जितने पैदा होते थे उतने ही लोग मर जाते थे. This is the basic explanation of why there was stagnant population growth. And then next was the phase of steady population growth. Steady population growth कब हुआ? Steady population growth हुआ independence के बाद, when we started to have health services, when living conditions जब बेहतर हुए, उसके बाद we began to see steady population growth, right? And next we see population explosion. Why did it happen? Population explosion in India happened because the mortality rate had gone below the birth rate. What does that mean? That means that we came to such a level that we were able to control the number of deaths increasingly. We were able to control the number of deaths increasingly as compared to the previous periods. Because आप जितना डेवलप करोगे किसी कंट्री के मेडिकल सर्विसेज को, Consequently, you will see a decrease in the number of people dying, and which is why we saw the period of population explosion. Number 4 is population growth slowing down gradually. Right? Population जो है, like I said, it does not keep growing. Obviously, it will come to a phase when it will go down. Population growth is now slowing down gradually. Why? It is not that people are dying. No, it is that the mortality rate, the death rate has come down. It was already down, but the birth rate has also gone down because of reasons such as more use of contraception, for example, more use of preventive methods, more use of education about family planning. When you educate somebody about family planning, when you tell them the dangers of having multiple children who they can't afford, eventually society जो है, it gains an awareness कि population जो बढ़ाना है, it is not necessarily a good thing. And so the birth rate, because of conscious human choice, falls down, and the mortality rate, because of increase in medical services, also falls down. And since both birth rate and death rate fall down, what we see is that population growth slows down gradually. Got it? The chronological order of the phases of population growth in India is no. Which of the following is a mining town? Hooghly, Ambala, Jharia, Satna. बताइए. Hooghly, Ambala, Jharia, Satna. Fairly easy answer. C. Jharia, completely famous. You must have read this 1,000 times in your books. Famous for coal mining, famous for coal mining, famous for coal mining. Jharia, located in the state of Jharkhand, India, is well known as a mining town. It is particularly famous for its rich coal fields, making it one of the primary coal mining areas in India. The town has been associated with coal mining for over a century, and its economy is largely driven by the coal industry. जो इकोनॉमी है झारिया की, it is largely driven by the coal industry because of the abundance of coal mines in the area. टाटा आयरन एंड स्टील प्लांट इनपुट्स. ओके, यहाँ पे कुछ स्टील प्लांट्स दिए गए हैं. यू हैव टू राइट द इनपुट्स. इनपुट्स यानी कि द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी यूज टू फ्यूल इट, द एनर्जी सोर्स इट यूजेस, द रॉ मटेरियल्स इट यूजेस. सो आपको बताना है कि इनपुट्स जो है, the sources which feed the industries, you have to match the inputs with the location of the steel plant. Let's see the answer. The correct answer is option number C. Option number C says Tata Iron and Steel Plant. Iron ore from Noa Mundi. Tata Iron and Steel Plant जो है वो Noa Mundi आयरन ओर डिपॉजिट से इनपुट्स गेन करती है. विश्वेश्वरैया आयरन एंड स्टील प्लांट, इट गेन्स inputs, it gains electricity from hydropower from Jogfall. Rourkela steel plant, it gains the raw material from Jharia coalfield, and Bhilai steel plant gains it from Korba coalfield. Factual based question, nothing much to discuss here. Conceptual नहीं है. Facts आपको याद करने पड़ेंगे. Geography का पेपर है, it won't be that easy. It won't be that easy, guys. You can't. Concepts are important, they are key, but like I said, कुछ part factual होगा ही होगा. You have to know the names, you have to know these facts. Cities act as nodes of social growth, economic growth, psychological growth, environmental growth. Tricky. They act as nodes of economic growth. They serve as centers for commerce, trade, services, and industry, contributing significantly to the national and regional economies. Urban areas attract businesses, investments, and skilled labor, fostering innovation, infrastructure development, and increased productivity. Thus, cities play a crucial role in driving economic development and growth. Cities are essential for economic growth. देखो, आप देख सकते हो इसमें social growth to an extent. You can maybe link social growth with cities, but the more relevant answer is economic growth. See, dekho, I'll tell you one thing about CVT. In the questions that they ask you, Sometimes it's gonna feel like one question has two answers. And कभी कभी ऐसा हो सकता है कि yes, in fact, both of those answers can be correct, but you have to think carefully. Which is why practice is important. Because you have to think carefully, and you won't have the time to think that much in the examination hall. You have to know these things. You have to know these things automatically, and ऐसा तभी होगा जब आप mock test series, आप practice papers practice करोगे. It is like muscle memory. It is something that you should do without even thinking that you are doing it. That is the key. So in this question, both these answers can be relevant, but what is more relevant? Economic growth. Because we know that villages में economic growth इतनी नहीं होती. Cities are the pioneers of economic growth. हम एक country को developed कब कहते हैं? We call it economically developed when there are multiple cities, when there are all these metropolitan cities that offer a vast variety of services. That is when we say that the city is developed, that the country is developed. Psychological growth is not relevant, and environmental growth तो relevant ही नहीं है, because we know that usually with cities, with the development of cities, we see a decline in environmental growth. We see the cutting of trees, clearing of space, we see pollution, all these things happening. So we cannot say कि environmental grow हो रहा है. But economic growth, yes, definitely, 100% is happening. Arrange the developments in television broadcasting in a chronological order. Television was delinked from All India Radio. Many centers became operational. Television services were extended to the backward and remote rural areas also. Television services were limited only to the national capital. बताइए. Chronological order. Chronological order के सवाल आपको बहुत मिलने वाले हैं ज्योग्राफी पेपर में. आप ये नोट कर लीजिए, because you have to basically specify कि कौन सा इवेंट पहले आया, what happened before and what happened after. You have to know the sequence. It's very important. And for knowing the sequence, you need to know the dates, the years. The correct answer is number C. Initially, the television services commenced in 1959 exclusively with the national capital, marking the inception of televised broadcasting in the country. पहले country के हर कॉर्नर में television services नहीं थे. They first came in the national capital around the Delhi region. Post 1972, television services broadcasting witnessed a significant expansion with several other centers across India becoming operational. In a landmark development during 1976, television was institutionally separated from All India Radio. पहले television was linked with the radio. Now it's not. We know that they're two completely separate entities. Right? Thereby establishing its distinct identity as Doordarshan DD. The operationalization of INSAT-IA, India's national television system DD1, marked a pivotal development in broadcasting. It enabled the initiation of common national programs CNP, which were broadcast across the entire network. The technological leap significantly broadened Doordarshan's reach, making television accessible to backward and remote rural areas. Hence, the correct answer is option C. Got it? Who among the following proposed the basic needs approach? Basic needs approach जो है, it's a question we already encountered. Alright. World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund IMF, International Labour Organization ILO, World Trade Organization WTO. The International Labour Organization ILO first introduced the basic needs strategy. Health, education, food, access to clean water, sanitation, and shelter were determined to be the 6 fundamental requirements. According to ILO, जो basic need strategy है उनकी, according to that, human development can only come when the 6 fundamental requirements were fulfilled. जो 6 basic needs हैं इंसान के, जब वो fulfill होते हैं, तब हम कह सकते हैं कि there has been human development. What does that mean? That means health, education, food, access to clean water. Once you meet these 6 things, then you can say that human development has happened. Which of the following North Indian states has the least population density? West Bengal, Uttarakhand, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. बताइए. Fairly easy. Fairly easy. The correct answer is उत्तराखंड. ऑब्वियस सी बात है यार, उत्तराखंड में देयर इज लाइक सो मेनी एरियाज विच आर barely accessible. इट्स अ हिली एरिया, इट्स अ माउंटेनस एरिया. वहाँ पहाड़ होते हैं, एंड जहाँ पहाड़ होते हैं वहाँ ऑब्वियसली बाय डिफॉल्ट कनेक्टिविटी जो है, जो कनेक्टिविटी होती है रोड्स की, वो ऑब्वियसली कम होगी. जब कनेक्टिविटी कम होगी, जब इतने सारे रोड्स नहीं बना पाओगे आप, तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि लोगों का आना जाना नहीं होगा उस एरिया के अंदर इतना. कंसिक्वेंटली अगर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स इतने, अगर कम्युनिकेशन फैसिलिटीज जो है अगर इतना डेवलप्ड है नहीं, तो उसमें पॉपुलेशन भी कम होगी. बिकॉज टेरेन भी ऐसा है ना, पहाड़ में कितने लोग रहते हैं एज कम्पेयर टू प्लेन्स. द अदर एरियाज आर प्लेन एरियाज. वेस्ट बंगाल इज अ प्लेन एरिया, बिहार इज अ प्लेन एरिया, उत्तर प्रदेश इज प्लेन एरिया, एंड दीज आर प्लेन एरियाज वेयर रिवर्स फ्लो. They have major rivers situated amongst them. बिहार में गंगा हो गया, वेस्ट बंगाल में गंगा हो गई, उत्तर प्रदेश में गंगा हो गई. तो बेसिकली वेस्ट बंगाल, बिहार एंड उत्तर प्रदेश हैव वेरी हाई डेंसिटी. उत्तराखंड इज अ हिली रीजन, एंड ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि उसमें सबसे कम पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी होगी. Which of the below mentioned areas of India have remained regions with large population concentration? Places with extreme climate, cold mountainous regions, river plains and coastal areas, deserts and border areas. Which of the following mentioned areas of India have remained regions with large population concentration? Places with extreme climate, cold mountainous regions, river plains and coastal areas, deserts and border areas. कौन सा इन 4 ऑप्शंस में से कौन से टाइप की एरिया में सबसे ज्यादा पॉपुलेशन होगी? वी डिस्कस दिस बिफोर इन द लास्ट क्वेश्चन ओनली, कि पॉपुलेशन जो है इट वेरीज विद टेरेन. जगह के अनुसार आप देखते हो कि संख्या में फर्क आता है. प्लेसेस विद एक्सट्रीम क्लाइमेट, इफ अ प्लेस हैज एक्सट्रीम क्लाइमेट, व्हाई विल पीपल वांट टू सेटल देयर? अगर कोई जगह है जहां पे कांस्टेंट बारिश होती है या फिर कांस्टेंट स्नोफॉल होती है, इंसान क्यों चाहेगा कि वो टॉर्चर करे खुद को? व्हाई वुड ही वांट टू बी इन अ प्लेस दैट इज सो हार्ड टू लिव इन? सो ऑब्वियसली इट कैन नॉट बी द आंसर. कोल्ड माउंटेनस रीजन्स, कोल्ड माउंटेनस रीजन्स, अगेन पहाड़ में कम्युनिकेशन फैसिलिटीज अच्छी नहीं है. They don't have developed networks of transport, so obvious सी बात है कि in cold mountainous regions you will not see big population. वहां पे लोग नहीं होंगे. Very obvious thing. River plains and coastal areas, deserts and border areas. Border पे कितने लोग दिखेंगे आप? इंसान नहीं चाहेगा कि वो उस एरिया में रहे जो कि कंट्री के सेंटर में हो. Like Delhi, like Mumbai, they would want to be in places offering them safety. They will want to be in places that offer them safety. Right? They will want to be in places that offer them safety. They will want to be in places that offer them security, that offer them job opportunities. So obviously border cannot be the answer. Similarly, deserts में भी climate extreme होती है. Why would you intentionally want to be in a place which is so hot in the day and so cold in the night? Does not make sense. So obvious सी बात है कि highest population concentration जो है वो होगी river plains में and coastal areas में, because एक तो in these places the temperature is bearable. आप झेल सकते हो उसको. Yes, humid होती है river plains, but you can handle it. You can do proper cultivation of crops there. You can set up industries there. जहाँ पानी होता है वहाँ पे crops होंगे, वहाँ पे industries होंगे, जहाँ पे agriculture होगा, जहाँ production होगा, obvious सी बात है कि population high होगी उन areas में. So the correct option is option number C, river plains and coastal areas. Which waterway serves Eastern Europe? Mississippi waterway, the Great Lakes waterway, Rhine waterway, Danube waterway. बताइए. Okay, let's look at these options. Mississippi waterway. If you have even a basic knowledge of geography, you will know that Mississippi waterway जो है, Mississippi river जो है, it flows in the US, not in Europe. Same for the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes are there in the northern part of USA, not in Europe. Rhine waterway हो गया. Rhine waterway जो है, Rhine river जो है, it flows in Western Europe, not Eastern Europe. It flows to countries like Germany. It flows through countries like Switzerland. So Rhine cannot be the answer. Rhine flow होती है Western Europe में. The correct option is obviously the Danube waterway. The Danube waterway serves Eastern Europe. The Danube River is one of the longest rivers in Europe, flowing through multiple countries including Germany, Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova, and Ukraine. All of these are the Eastern European rivers. Got it? Before emptying into the Black Sea, it is a crucial conduit for the transportation of goods and people, connecting various countries and regions within Eastern Europe. That's all. Identify the correct points about Human Development Report. Since 1980, Human Development Report is published annually. This report provides rank-wise list of all member countries. Capability approach is one of the 4 major approaches to human development. Development and Human Poverty Index are 2 important indices to measure human development. यहाँ पे 4 facts दिए गए हैं. You have to tell me which are the 3 ones that are correct. That is the question to you. The correct answer is option number C. 2, 3 and 4 are correct. यहाँ पे देखिए फिर से वही बात हो गई. All of the options look correct, but mistake कहाँ पे है? Mistake is in the year. If you do not know the fact that the first Human Development Report, HDR, was published in 1990, not 1980, you will think कि यहाँ पे तो सब सही है, and then you'll sit with this question for 5 minutes. You will think हाँ सब सही है यहाँ पे. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is option number C. That is 1 is incorrect. Because why? Because Human Development Report जो है publish हुई थी 1990 में, not 1980. It was not published in 1980. Right? So knowing these basic facts, having this factual knowledge is completely essential. Associations, you have regional trade blocks with headquarters. Trade blocks होते हैं कुछ. Some countries come together and they basically discuss the prospects of trade. कि मैं आपके कंट्री में एक प्रोडक्ट बेचूंगा and उसके रिटर्न में I expect you to sell these products. They come together for the economic benefit of their respective countries. They form groups. Unity is strength. You know this, right? If someone is in numbers, they are in strength. And so obviously they come together to support themselves. They come together to basically increase their economic prospects. So there are certain regional trade blocks, and you have to tell me the headquarters. Associations of Southeast Asian nations, ASEAN. Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS. यूरोपियन यूनियन, EU। बताओ। ओके, दिस द क्वेश्चन जो है थोड़ा गलत दिया हुआ है, थोड़ा गलत प्रिंटिंग करी हुई है, बिकॉज देर इज सपोज टू बी फोर्थ ऑप्शन, राइट। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, इट टॉक्स अबाउट अ फोर्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कॉल्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ पेट्रोलियम एक्सपोर्टिंग कंट्रीज, ओपेक, which is not being talked about here. Never mind, we'll skip to the next. I'll have this rectified and then we'll discuss in the next class. Which of the following development projects has been taken up by National Highways Authority of India, NHAI ने कौन सी डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट उठाई है, बताइए। बॉर्डर रोड, स्टेट हाईवेज, गोल्डन क्वाड्रिलेटरल, रूरल रोड्स। The correct answer is the golden quadrilateral, which connects the four major metropolitan cities of India. The development project was taken up by the National Highway Authority of India, NHAI. Among the options provided in is the Golden Quadrilateral. The Golden Quadrilateral is a major development project linking four major cities of India: Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata, thereby forming a quadrilateral. It is one of the largest highway networks in the country, aimed at facilitating high-speed road travel between major cities and industrial, agricultural, and cultural centers. The project is part of a larger effort to improve connectivity and infrastructure across the country, supporting economic growth and development. NHAI, देखो बॉर्डर रोड्स जो है, बॉर्डर रोड्स के लिए देयर इज सेपरेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कॉल्ड BRO, बॉर्डर रोड्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। स्टेट हाईवेज जो है, इट इज नॉट टेकन अप बाय द नेशनल हाईवे अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया। There's a difference between state highway and national highway. National highways connect roads that go through different states. State highways state highways are roads that connect different places within the same state. So obviously, अगर national दिया हुआ है नाम में, अगर नाम में national दिया हुआ है, obvious सी बात है कि they would not take up the project of state highways. रूरल रोड्स तो वो नहीं उठाएंगे, ऑब्वियसली नॉट, बिकॉज इट टॉक्स अबाउट हाईवेज। रूरल रोड्स हाईवे कैसे होंगे? द गोल्डन क्वाड्रिलेटरल, इट इज द हाईवे, इट गोज थ्रू डिफरेंट स्टेट्स, इट कट्स टू डिफरेंट स्टेट्स, it links four different cities which are in four different states of India. Obviously it will come under a national highway designation, which is taken up by the National Highway Authority of India. Clear? The first country gas pipeline constructed by GAIL is A. Allahabad, Varanasi, Mirzapur, B. Mumbai, Pune, C. Adilabad, Nizamabad, D. Hazira, Vijaypur, Jagdishpur. Again, factual question है. You have to know कौन सा गैस पाइपलाइन किस एरिया से पास होता है. You have to know the fact. The first cross-country gas pipeline constructed by GAIL, the Gas Authority of India Limited, is Hazira Vijaypur Jagdishpur HBJ pipeline. This pipeline was a pioneering project in the field of energy transportation in India, marking a significant milestone in the development of the country's natural gas infrastructure. The correct answer is option number D, Hazira Vijaypur Jagdishpur HVJ. Remember the first letters, HVJ. HVJ is the first cross-country pipeline. The first pipeline to cut through different states. It was constructed by GAIL and it is called HVJ, Hazira, Vijaypur, Jagdishpur. So I think that was it for today. That was the last question for today. I hope this session was helpful. And to give you a reminder again, for a more detailed explanation, you can go to ExamFactor and you can acquire their mock test series and you can acquire the crash courses and you'll get a discount. I'll tell you my code again. Yeah. My code is AOPEF20 AOPEF20 to avail a discount on any purchase of mock test series or crash course offered by ExamFactor in any subject. I hope the session was helpful. Thank you and good night to all.